Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This will be part 2 on John DeSantis from Florida, Marine ECM. This is going to be just a test after the repairs. This computer actually was sent back to him and it came in September, but we have a little bit of a misunderstanding and then decided not to repair his computer, send it back, but then we got in a conversation, he sent the computer back and now it's in here. So it's now repaired. Because I'll actually show everything on the first video, and I'm going to put the link on the description of this video, the link to that one, if you want to watch the part 1 where I go over the entire process of the test that I perform, injector signal, EST, and we reproduce his concern, which is no fuel pump. Obviously, the vehicle or the computer we're running here because I have the simulator, even though I got real injectors and stuff like that, but since I don't need fuel to run, I can check all the signals and so on, right? So the video will be showing the after repairs, but I will show you his concerns and a little bit of the video so you can see where I record a full video first. So let me actually go in order. As you see, I have the computer still open. So that is so we can see the John DeSantis name from Florida, and he can see that his computer open. Those are very rare computers, very hard to get to. All right, so yep, you can see that now. All right, so he was here again in September 20. It says full codes are not required, delete it if needed. I have brief description of problem, both not a started, fuel pump, not activating, no spark alarm, no spark alarm for overheating and low oil, just non-stop on. Supposed to beep twice, open ground false for a lot of sensors. So that might have been a problem on the harness, and I explained this to John, and I explained that on the first video. I can correct the situations that I can see here, but obviously, especially if you have all those no grounds and things like that, it might be a problem on the harness that took the computer down, so that needs to be corrected. But I was able to reproduce his concern, and that is the video that I was telling you. It's 2007 EGC Volvo Penta, 5.7 liters GXi-H. And again, no start, no fuel pump test. And I'm going through the entire process where I show the fiber reference, as you see in the screen right there. We got the fiber reference, and not just the fiber reference. When I'm connected in there, I use the sensor ground and the sensor power, which is in this case 5 volts. This computer has 2 separate fiber references and 2 separate sensor grounds. Even though the grounds are internally connected into it, I will check those in the video so you can get to see those as well. All right, so going back to here, let me put the diagram, and I'm going to put just the one, that one. So those are the connections that I normally do here to connect to the computer, right? So, but before we go there, I want to point you over to a direction right here, when I'm pointing, with my fingers now, is the fuel pump relay light. So you can see that in there. So we're going to have probably 2 or 3 lights, the main power, the horn that he refers, and also the fuel pump relay. So let's power this up. All right, so we got main power relay, horn, and the fuel pump. That should go off, and it did, right? That's a normal prime, and this was not working. If you go and watch that first video, that was definitely not working. So that's already telling us that we have a fully repaired computer. In Diacom Rinda, if you have a boat, this is the best software you can buy. Don't buy the TechMate because that is a code reader. Yeah, it gives a little more than just a code reader, but Diacom Windows-based software is the best because you can record, you can visit manuals, you can see a lot of more pits into one screen, and you can put that on the seat on your boat or whatever, right? Connect it to the engine, take it for a ride, or the dock if it's something you can reproduce in there. I always recommend to start from cold to fully warm and do those recordings. And I always tell the customers, try to grab a known good values from when your boat is working perfect, so you can use those to compare and give it to me as well, because I can help you remotely with TeamViewer, go over to your computer and analyze what it was before and what we have now, see what has changed, see if it's something I can guide you remotely and help you fix your boat, which I have done in multiple cases. Sorry, I face down. I'm always looking at the iPad. I don't know why I do that, because I should see the camera, obviously. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so this is the best software. So in here, this is the landing screen. Let's say, you know, let me just close this pop-up. So what I do is, this is the landing screen. So you click onto the boat up at the top. That's going to populate that same menu that we just saw. And in this case here, I need to connect to the Volvo Penta using the CAN connector. Most likely in the boat, he will be using the serial. And it's two different ways of connect. I use CAN because it's faster for me here. All right, so I click on OK. That will detect the computer. You can see it will detect. There is multiple different diagnostics strategies that Diacom is giving you for this computer, because this has a lot of software, very good software. So you can do injector monitor, fuel control monitor, gauge, oil quality monitor, or engine data. I always select engine data for my testing here, right? So we connect, and that will retrieve any fault codes or anything that we have in here. So right now, we got very good communication. I can then use a zoom glass and show you things like this computer has 420.14 hours. What else? Like I can show you the oil pressure. And these are values that I'm giving right now. In manifold pressure, I can show you coolant temperature. And so you can see all, I mean, look at how many pits are here, right? In here also, we can go over to the test menus up in the top. And this is where you can also check, because I can do the relay test. And when I click in here, I can turn all the relays on. And look at right now, right behind me when I'm pointing. When I click on, you see those relays? The main power relay, the horn, and the fuel pump relay are on. I turn them off. Wait to exit, because it has to exit the menu in there, but it's working 100%. It's working beautifully. So right now this is it. I mean, realistically, for his test, that's it, because this was the problem. But obviously, you know, after I do a repair, especially on a very difficult component, let me show you a picture so you get to understand what I was doing, because obviously this was done on the first visit, and I didn't do anything for this one because it's the same thing. But let me take the diagram out and let me show you that picture. So this is all the board, that board and the computer completely removed from the case, and then working on them on the removal and installing of the components. That is a very intricate and very delicate, because that can deem that board worthless. Like it will be destroyed if you don't know what you're doing. So this is very important that you get it to a person that knows what it's doing. Like, I'm sorry, but like myself, and you will be in good hands. All right, so let me go over to the test. I'm going to put this one, and then the meter. Before we move, I want to show you, I am connected now, so you get to understand in which pins, and so is John. I'm checking right now sensor ground 2, which is in pin 50. And then the voltage reference circuit for the sensor sensor 2, let me connect it in here on pin 49. So that's the 5-volt reference 2 and the sensor ground 2, pin 49 and pin 50. And we can see reading 5 volts. That means that both of those circuits are intact, are good. All right, so I'm going to move now from those pins, and I'm going to now connect to sensor ground on pin 20 and 5-volt reference on pin 19. And we had the 2 5-volt reference and the 2 sensor grounds. So you can see, John, and all of you, that all the sensor grounds and sensor powers are good here. So if you have a multiple faults for sensors, and there are bed grounds or stuff like that, it's in the boat, not in the computer. That is not an affected part. Not here. I cannot see any of that. And I load test and everything always, and they're good. All right, so let's run this. I am ready with the RPM. So let me just make sure that I got the hit selected for RPM, so you can see what speed we're running the boat now. And let me make sure. Okay, yeah, you can see 638 RPMs. So we can see now the lights you're seeing in here are all for the injectors, plus these two right here where I'm pointing. that upper light right here, what I'm pointing, is the ESC. This is a 5.7. So Volvo Pentas on the 5.7 uses one signal that goes over to the distributor or ignition module to fire the coil. And then it uses 8 injectors. Each driver is separate. So one driver for the coil, EST, that's how they call, and then 8 drivers for the injectors, and they're all firing and everything is looking normal here, no problem. I also have this other light that you see here at the bottom is the IEC. And it will set up a fault because it's obviously not the original IEC, and I do have the IEC, but I don't like to put them because it's a very high-pitched whining noise that unless I have a concern that need to be corrected, I will put them in a video, but I always check them myself. So this is, again, just a video that I show for the customer and for you what I do here. But yeah, so let's increase the RPMs. I'm going to go over to 4,000 RPMs. And on this simulator, I can see the injector firing milliseconds. This is great. The simulator is a little blurry for you guys, but I can see everything is working good. I'm going to change the manifold pressures to higher pressure. That's going to change the injection millisecond, and it did. I was in 10 milliseconds and it wasn't 5. And I'm going to change the throttle from like 7 to around 35%. So that is perfect. And we can see the computer running now, John. You can see now the lights or the injectors are almost, in your view, kind of like a steady because it's firing at 4,000 RPM. So it's not like you can see the flickering. Now it's like almost on all the time because it's firing in multiple times. If I get to put an oscilloscope, which I did on the first video, and I will going to put that link in the bottom of this one on the description, you can see all those signals and everything, how I perform my test. So everything is working great, John. We can see, again, your fuel pump driver now fully operational and everything is good to go. All right, let's get this back to idle. Just to close the video with a normal idle. I always like to leave my tools ready for the next one as much as possible because if I change this from from a Volvo to a Merc Cruiser, the values will not work. But if it's not the case, it might be ready for the next one, right? So I'm going to bring the throttle down to around 7 to 10%. That's what I use here. And then my manifold pressure, I like to keep it at idle at 12.6. Again, those are values that I use in here, and I have always followed those values because then if it's something is abnormal as far as injection milliseconds or something else, I can catch it immediately. And this is something I would recommend you to do too. Try to keep your tests the same way always. Your procedures A, B, C, D. Follow always A, B, C, D, and you will be successful always. Don't try to jump because that's a problem that a lot of new technicians go. It's like, oh, that's got to be so simple. Let me jump into the last part. You didn't do this, and the problem wasn't A or wasn't B. So follow your procedure will make you successful all the time. All the time. So don't cut corners, trying to save time because sometimes it's actually what it makes you waste hours, more time. All right, guys, thank you so much. John, thank you so much for trusting my Salazar Diagnostic. I'm glad that we were able to get your computer fixed, and I will be sending this your way as soon as possible. Thank you, guys. If you have any marine, automotive, computers, instrument clusters, please contact me. My website is Mike Salazar Diagnostic, and my name is spelled very different, so let me put you into my website. You can see it on the YouTube channel. If you're here, the name is right there, Mike Salazar Diagnostics. All you need to add is .com. So if you want to see my website, which I'm going to put in the screen right now, let me get all those meters out. That is my website. Right under, we have something else in there. Oh, I know what it is. It's actually, I gotta close this. All right, so right where my name is in the center lower end of the screen, this is the home page, right? On the left side, on the left side, you have that white box that says click here, fill this form. That will download a Word document for you to fill, print, and send in the box with the modules or module that you're sending. The black box that says click here to email us, if you click in there, we'll open your email browser with my email already there. So please email me first or call me. You got also on the upper left corner the email if you don't want to use those boxes, and my telephone right there. You can call me anytime. Let's please start establishing a line of communication. I like always to use the emails, and the reason of that is because I can revisit that conversation. I can go back to our Volvo list, to what you're described as far as concerned. So yeah, it is not about losing the human touch. It's about data, and it's very important for me to collect as much as data as possible from each customer to be able to do a successful repair. Like that, when you plug the module in your vehicle, it's good to go. Or I can give you recommendations, like in this case to John, to check the harness and everything, because he obviously has more problems. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe.